will take care of that and then take stock of what, if anything, is left and make a plan for the afternoon, if there's anything left. So that went away. Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
All right. You don't give me much time. Let's get on the record. Position 14, it's State versus Nesby, 25 SC 005-432. Good morning, Ms. Nesby.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm okay. Ms. Nesby is here with Ms. Wood, and Ms. Smith is handling this for the state. Ms. Nesby, it sounds like you are prepared to enter a plea to something being reduced because it's a misdemeanor plea, and I'll hear about that from Ms. Smith. You've got to be put under oath, and then you'll be asked a whole bunch of questions about your case and your rights. You need to answer those questions truthfully. You also need to let me or Ms. Wood know if at any time you have a question. Will you do that?
Yes.
Okay, and make sure when you're answering questions, you're welcome to nod or shake your head, but you also have to answer verbally because the court reporter only takes down the spoken word. All right?
Okay.
Great. Ms. Smith?
Yes, Judge. And to be clear, you know about those reductions that we're doing today, or would you like me to?
You said it, someone said it's a misdemeanor plea.
Okay.
That's all I know.
So for count one, it'll be reduced to battery, that is OCGA 16-5, 23.1.
Mhm.
And then count two will just be the misdemeanor version of willful obstruction, so same OCGA code.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Nesby, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in the matter currently before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can lower your hand. Please state your true, correct, and legal name for the court.
Joel Nesby?
Are you at this time taking or under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medicine?
No.
And is there any medication that you would normally take that you haven't been given today?
No.
How old are you and how far have you gone to school?
I'm 19 and I'm in my first year of pursuing nursing.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to plead either guilty or not guilty to these charges? And if you plead not guilty or remain silent, you may receive a jury trial.
Yes.
Have you had enough time to speak with your attorney about all of the facts and circumstances known to you regarding the charges in this indictment?
Yes.
Do you need more time to discuss your case with your attorney?
No.
And are you satisfied with her services?
Yes.
Counsel, are you satisfied that your client has a full understanding of this proceeding?
I am.
Also, do you waive the formal reading of the indictment and any and all defense in the indictment for the purposes of this plea?
We do.
Ms. Nesby, do you remember being arrested on these charges?
Yes.
The state is unaware of any outstanding warrants related to these charges. Are you or your attorney aware of any outstanding warrants?
No.
Do you understand that this is a negotiated plea of guilty, which means that the state will recommend to the court a sentence of 24 months probation?
Yes.
Are you aware that the court does not have to accept that recommendation and that the court can sentence you to the maximum on each charge and can run those sentences consecutively?
Yes.
Do you understand that this is a guilty plea which is permanently recorded on your criminal history?
Yes.
Do you also understand that if you're charged with a crime in the future, that this plea may be used to enhance that sentencing, including on a federal case?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you're currently on probation or parole, your probation or parole may be revoked based on you entering a guilty plea today?
Yes.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes.
Do you understand that you waive any and all defenses, including any mental health defenses, by entering this guilty plea?
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up the following rights: the right to a trial by jury, the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself, the right to see and hear the witnesses called to testify against you, the right to the assistance of counsel, either hired by you or court appointed if you cannot afford an attorney, the right to the presumption of innocence, which means that the state must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of these charges, the right to testify on your own behalf or remain silent, the right to present other evidence of your own and call your own witnesses, and the right to appeal if convicted of these charges after a trial.
Yes.
Counsel, are you satisfied that your client understands that these are the rights that they'll be waiving by entering this guilty plea?
I am.
Ms. Nesby, has anyone forced, threatened, or promised you anything to get you to enter into this guilty plea?
No.
As to indictment number 25 SC 005432, how do you plead to the reduced count of battery for count one in the reduced count of willful obstruction of law enforcement officers for count 2.
Guilty.
Is this guilty plea freely and voluntarily given with full knowledge of the charges against you?
Yes.
Do you understand that you do not have a direct right to appeal from your guilty plea conviction, but if you believe that there is some type of error in your guilty plea, that you can apply to the appropriate appellate court to request a discretionary appeal?
Yeah.
Do you also understand that this has to be completed within 30 days from today?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have only 12 months from today for a misdemeanor charge to file a habeas corpus petition challenging the voluntariness of this plea?
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Nesby. Your Honor, if this case were to proceed to trial, the state would show that on June 30th, 2024, officers of the Sandy Springs Police Department were dispatched to 8604 Roswell Road, Sandy Springs, Georgia, also in Fulton County, regarding an active fight between employees and 2 females. That location that I mentioned is a Waffle House location. So 2 employees that work for Waffle House and 2 female customers. One of those customers being identified as the defendant in this case, Ms. Nesby. When the officers got there, he could see from a street level that there was some type of altercation that was happening inside. When the officers went inside, they saw Ms. Nesby fighting with one of the victims that's listed in the case, Michael Wilson. He saw that they were fighting. She had a closed fist, and she also picked up something from the table and threw it at Mr. Wilson. It made contact with him. However, at that time, the officers were able to take Ms. Nesby. There was a second person there with Ms. Nesby, but she is now in this indictment that was getting into that altercation. But the officers were able to separate Ms. Nesby from the employee and place her under arrest. While they were trying to get her under arrest, though, Ms. Nesby was resisting, trying to get away, not being handcuffs and things like that, kind of making it difficult for the officer in this case to place her under arrest. The officers were able to get video footage that I also reviewed where Ms. Nesby walks into this Waffle House. There's some type of interaction between her and Mr. Williams and also the second employee that was at that Waffle House location. And that verbal altercation turned into a physical altercation between both of the victims listed and also Ms. Nesby and that second person that was with Ms. Nesby. Because of this fight that occurred, the officers did arrest Ms. Nesby for the charges we have before us today. Those are the facts of the case also occurred in Fulton County, as I stated before. Regarding the negotiated plea between the state and the defense, we've agreed to, for count 1 and count 2, 12 months probation for both of those counts to run consecutive for a total of 24 months on probation. Regarding the special conditions of probation, the state is asking for the defendant to stay away from that specific Waffle House location, for the defendant to have no contact with the victims, complete an anger management course, and also complete 30 hours of community service. That is the negotiated plea. Regarding the reduction in this case, the state attempted to get into contact with the victim multiple times, but I was told by Ms. Wood that there is a previous relationship between the defendant and the victim in this case. The defendant was dating the victim was dating the defendant's mom, and something occurred on that. Do I need to? I'm confusing you.
No, okay, so Mr. Williams was dating Ms. Nesby's mom.
That's correct.
Got it. I was like, wait, how did mom get in the mix?
That is
Don't drag
correct.
her into this. Got it. So it wasn't Williams and Nesby, it was Williams and, I'm gonna call it Nesby Senior. I know it doesn't work that way, but
Yes,
okay.
Yes, and I'll let Ms. Wood talk more about that relationship between those two and other court cases they have against each other. But from our point of view, when trying to contact the victim during TLOs, we were not able to contact him, and there wasn't any much willingness to participate in the process here. And looking at her history and all the facts and circumstances in this case, the state did decide to reduce both of those cases to a misdemeanor. Hence the misdemeanor plea we're doing today. That is all from the state, Your Honor.
What is a TLO?
That's how we run the victims' names and get their updated contact information. So we're able to contact them.
Okay,
So we got the updated numbers, email addresses, and addresses.
got it. So you did a TLO on Mr. Williams to make sure you've got good info on him.
Right. And
Okay.
we called those numbers, but it didn't.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Hardy, criminal history information, please, on Ms. Nesby.
There are 2 arrest cycles in Georgia, no felony convictions. Let's see, this case that's on the calendar and the other one is a shoplifting out of Alpharetta. Nothing further.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Wood.
All right, Judge, I'm going to try to get it right. So if I get it wrong, Ms. Nesby, I hope will correct me. So Mr. Williams, the victim in this case,
Who is a Waffle House employee?
yes, at the time of this incident,
Okay,
had dated Miss Nesby's mother for a very long time, a number of years. At the time of this incident, they were broken up. But it has been, seems to have been a very messy situation. I shared this document with Ms. Smith. Mr. Williams actually just pled recently and received probation in Gwinnett County for a case against Miss Nesby's father. So,
oh,
yes.
Okay.
So there's a lot of moving parts here. So on the day.
a case against, as in Mr. Williams got physical with Ms. Nesby's father.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, aggravated assault case.
Did he get to plead to battery?
He did not.
Okay.
So on the day in question, Miss Nesby and her sister, that's the second person that was with her, they were headed to a store that was not the Waffle House. They saw Mr. Williams flagging them down. So they stopped, they went in the store. The second Waffle House employee was a new love interest of Mr. Williams.
Did he want to show her off, or what was the, I guess that's a question for Ms. Nesby.
Yes, Judge,
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what happened,
All right.
but somehow, some way, words were exchanged between the new love interest and the girls, and it popped off from there. So that's how we landed here, Judge. I am just asking that you accept the state's recommendation. Miss Nesby's 19 years old. She is a high school graduate. She's in nursing school. She's currently working as a certified nursing assistant at a healing facility. She's just ready to move forward, and I would ask that the court consider suspending or terminating the probation after a period of good compliance.
All right. Ms. Nesby, what's a healing facility?
Well, it's like where people go after they leave the hospital for like rehab, but we also have a long-term hall as well.
Okay, so it's something linked to a medical procedure. It's not a, you like rub crystals on them and try to channel positive karmic energy.
No.
Okay, so I'm curious. What went wrong? This was a long time ago. It was almost 2 years ago. But so Mr. Williams, like, hey, come on in here. What was the trigger? Was it something his new girlfriend said, or something?
Wasn't that? He had shot my dad like previously before that.
This is the case from Gwinnett.
Yeah. So
Okay.
he shot him, and when
So
he
why would
came-
you go in if he's saying, hey, come on in here? Why don't you just show him one of your fingers and keep walking?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking. I was in a bad headspace.
Is your sister older or younger?
She's younger than me.
Okay, so you led your little sister in there.
Not necessarily, but I did have her in my ear a little bit, so
Okay.
it kind of, messed with me a little bit.
So when you went in there, it wasn't to give him a hug, Mr. Williams. Like you weren't
No,
thinking,
but it
there's
wasn't
Mr.
to fight
Williams.
either.
No, I'm not saying that you were cruising for a bruising, but it wasn't, hey, he's waving at us, let's go give him a hug. That's Uncle Mike.
No.
No, okay. All right. What'd you throw at him?
It was like a salt shaker, dude. Like it
It was
was
your glass.
But
Okay.
they like double teamed me, so I was like,
I'm not saying you shouldn't have thrown it. I wasn't there.
yeah.
And I probably would have stayed outside. Once you told me like, hey, who's that guy? Oh, that's the guy who shot my dad.
Mhm.
I'm not going in with you. So, okay. And I don't mean to make light of it. You've been charged with this. You were in jail for 2 days, and it may well be Mr. Williams was hurt, and shouldn't have happened. But it sounds like you get it. That's the most important part. And that going forward, if you had your little sister with you, it's like, we're not going in there. All right.
Right.
You give them whatever hand gesture you want. We're going to keep going in our way, because that's going to need to happen while you're under sentence. Do you have any questions about anything?
No,
Anything you want to add?
no.
Okay. Well, Ms. Nesby, I find there's a factual basis for your plea, and that your plea is voluntary. No one forced you to do this, and it's knowing you've understood what we talked about. Do you agree with both those statements?
Yes.
Do you mind if we electronically sign your name to the indictment indicating your guilty plea to the 2 misdemeanors?
I don't mind.
You don't mind. Good. Ms. Wood
I don't mind either, Judge.
and Ms. Smith?
I don't mind.
No minding all around. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's the status of your shoplifting case out of Alpharetta?
I haven't been to court for that, but when I got out for that, I got a UJR, so I haven't had a follow-up. on
Okay.
it.
All right. Well, don't forget about it. You don't want to become unintentionally a fugitive.
Okay.
But that's not this case. So Ms. Nesby, what I'm going to do is sentence you on count 1 to 9 months probation and count 2 to 9 months probation. So you will be on a total of 18 months probation because they'll run consecutive to each other. Special condition number 1, no contact with Mr. Williams. There was this reference of a second victim who's the other coworker. I don't know how important. I think this is Mr. Williams is the one she needs to stay away from.
That's correct. Well, the altercation with both of them, so.
I'm not disputing that, but if was the coworker, oh, that was his new girlfriend. You need to stay away from both of them.
Okay.
You'll just need to get those 2 names to Ms. Nelson. I mean, Michael Williams she has, and then New Squeeze, whatever the name is. So no contact with either of them. Also need to stay away from that Waffle House, just in case he's still working there, just only 18 months, and gosh, there are 800 Waffle Houses, so don't go to that one. You'll need to take an anger management course. That'll be a thing that would be the other voice in your ear, not your sister saying, let's not go in that Waffle House. And then finally, 30 hours of community service. You need to take that anger management course within the first 4 months of probation, and you need to complete those 30 hours of community service within the first 6 months of probation, okay? If things are going well after a year of probation and you want to have Ms. Wood reach out to say, hey, could we do an early termination? I'm open to hearing that. I'm also making it 18 months rather than 24 months. Ms. Wood is going to have you fill out a form that has a bunch of blanks. Please write more legibly than this person did about how to contact you, and misdemeanor probation will reach out to you to set up whatever that first meeting is going to be. Don't miss the first meeting. Anything else, Ms. Wood?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Smith?
Nothing further, thank you.
Okay. Good luck, Ms. Nesby.
Thank you.
Right, so just call me with it. And Judge, we did that paperwork before court, so Ms. Nelson already has it.
Well, fantastic.
May I
Yes,
be
it does.
excused?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
What about who had the walk-in?
I did.
Okay,
We want to talk about it now?
if it's quick.
Yes, quick. I have so he missed court back in.
And he is, just so I'm,
Montravius Taylor.
case number?
It is 25 SC 004786.
All right, I see Montravius Taylor's name, and it looks like he missed plea and arraignment in September of last year.
Yes, Your Honor. He has been in a drug program for the last 18 months.
Well, good for him.
He reached out to me, and so did his bail bondsman, who's been here the whole time, and he provided me a certificate of completion of the program. So that's what he's been focusing on that. And then I guess when he came to light, got all clean and, working, then he reached out and was like, oh, I have this court date and I want to make sure I don't have a bench warrant so he can resolve his case. He's working at CKS right now, and I have an address to provide the court, and I've already talked to Ms. Smith, and she's has no objection to signing the bench warrant.
So this completion date is before the plea and arraignment, so I'm not seeing the connection between being in this program and missing court.
I believe he was in for 18 months, maybe.
I was in there for 18 months.
Maybe.
You might have been there for 100 years, but it says that you completed it on July 27th, and court was a month and a half later.
I had no idea that I had court though while I was in the program.
You weren't getting mail at
I wasn't getting mail at the program.
At Sober Living.
No, I wasn't.
Okay, the address we have for you, well, there are 2. One is Gilbert Place in Forest Park,
Never heard of it.
and the other is Campbellton Road, 1573.
That's where I got in trouble at. I couldn't go back there.
Good, don't go back there.
Right.
But we got a new address for you?
Yes. Got me and 2 of my roommates got a house now. So
Okay, and so you have a change of address form?
I will fill that out now.
Great. So we'll have a change of address. We'll get that in there. I don't know what the Gilbert Place is. And the bonding company knows your new address?
yes.
Okay. All right. Do you understand what you're charged with?
No, you can tell me.
You are charged with criminal damage to property, obstruction of law enforcement, and terroristic threats. It's from August of 24. So it's a long time ago. You were indicted in August of 25. But you busted up a car of someone named Champagne Tenney.
That's when I used to drink. That.
Okay, you shouldn't talk about it right now, just letting you know. But that's the situation we're in. Okay? And then when the officers showed up, it says you headbutted one of them. That's not nice. And you told an officer you were going to do something bad to that officer. All right, but you're remembering the situation more or less. Ms. Rios will help you remember the situation. I'm letting you know what you were charged with, okay?
I will do a waiver and that to get on the scheduling order.
Good.
We can get this process.
You'll do a waiver. You've got the change of address. Ms. Smith doesn't oppose the bench warrant set aside or the judicial hold set aside, so I'll do that. You just need to keep us posted if you move again, okay?
Yes, sir.
Does it seem like you'll be able to stay in this place for a little while?
I'll be here for a minute.
Okay. We're working at CKS, so I know you're getting paid all right.
Yeah.
Do you have an okay shift?
Yeah, I work night shift.
Okay.
Night shift. I started off in the morning shift, then I moved to night.
All right. Well, they've been real good at hiring folks who are coming out of addiction. So,
Yeah. You know. I said, you know.
I do. And I hope that you take good advantage of that opportunity to have a paying job.
I'm trying to.
Okay. Ms. Smith, anything else on Mr. Traylor?